Alrighty, good morning. It's the Honey Badger. Got my tea. Time to get going. We're gonna work on this lawn tractor. We're gonna work on the hood, see what's going on with that. We did a little bit earlier on that. I did a little bit more research, but I'm gonna show you what I'm looking at. Maybe we'll do some oil change on the lawnmower engine itself, look at the air filter, some basic maintenance. And then the big task is we're gonna try to remove that lawnmower cutting grass deck from the lawn tractor itself. Get that removed so I can get there and look at the belts and the bearings and all that sort of stuff. It looks like it needs a little bit of paint as well, a little TLC. So we'll get that going too. So that's what we got planned for the day. Thanks for joining. Let's get going. All right, let's see what's going on with this hood. See how bad this crack is or damage. Ugh. Alright, just scraping off this duct tape. Duct tape's really not an acceptable solution to fix things. I suppose it worked for him, but it's not going to be a permanent solution. So what we're going to do is just scrape this off. I'm not sure why I keep breaking these blades, but I do. These razor blades. Scrape this off, and I think the plan is that I'm going to fiberglass over this and fix it. Replacing the hood is super expensive. They are very, very expensive. I kind of knew that when I bought it. I was hoping to find one used, but again, used is probably gonna be the same shape as this. I'm gonna give a shot at trying to fix this with a little bit of fiberglass. So I'm gonna set this aside for today. I'm gonna do a little bit of research, figure out how to fix it. We'll get back to it. All right, next thing on the to-do list is we're gonna get this battery out of here so we can get down there and look at the steering. I showed you how bad that steering was earlier. The linkage is underneath this battery, so we'll get this battery out. Ideally, when you're disconnecting batteries, you always want to disconnect the ground first and then connect it last. Alright, those are disconnected. We'll just pull this rubber strap out. So, pull the battery out. Okay, when I bought this, we showed the initial video on this thing. The steering was really sloppy, and you're trying to figure out why. And if you move the steering shaft right here, you can see it just bounces around in this piece here. If I had to guess, there's a bushing down in here. The bushing there, that's either missing, broken, or whatever, but it's not supposed to have that much slop in there. So what we'll have to do is take out this cotter pin, probably we'll pull out the whole steering wheel shaft here, this shaft. We'll pull this whole shaft out and then figure out what's going on there. I'll have to look at a parts diagram and figure out what part I need, or when I get in there, kind of figure out what's going on. This piece right here is supposed to connect to this piece right here and turn it. So you see, as I turn, it turns slowly, but with a lot of slop. So we don't want that. All right, little interlude here. One handy thing about the internet is you can find parts, and 9 times out of 10, if you go to the manufacturer, you can find a parts diagram for your item that you're working on. Now we're working on my John Deere tractor, so I went and found that out on the John Deere parts catalog up there, right there, and typed in LX176. This popped up, and then now I have a diagram of what's going on. So we're gonna look at the steering. I wanna show you real quick what I was looking at. Click steering wheel, and now we got an exploded parts diagram of what I was looking at for the sloppy steering. Now that bushing, my guess is right there, number 4.
And right there, number 4, $4.07. I think we can afford that. $4.07, and that tells me that there's supposed to be a bushing there, and it feels like there is not. We'll get the steering part torn apart. We'll take out this cotter pin, and it should slide out from the shaft. We'll get this up out of the way, and then we should be able to put this bushing back on. We'll see how that goes apart. I might be wrong, but that's how that goes together. Put that bushing in there and see if that helps the steering. Okay, sometimes part of putting something back together, you have to do a little bit of research and a little bit of sleuthing to try to figure things out. So I'm trying to figure out how this front bumper piece attaches to the hood. So I found this front bumper piece on eBay here, and I'm looking at these connections here, and I don't 100% know how it works, but I'm going to compare it to what I currently have is what I'm going to do. Trying to do some more research on how this hood works. So I found another picture of a brand new hood and the side panels, etc. As you can see, it's pretty expensive, $278. That really does not really work well with my budget of $500. So we're going to see what we can do about fixing this thing, but we need to know what it's supposed to look like to begin with. We want to zoom in on this picture, compare it to what we have, screenshot this picture, and then we'll compare it to what we have. And then you kind of see what it looks like in here, and we can kind of compare it to what we have as well. So we'll have to go do some research to see what we have, what a new one looks like versus what we currently have, and then see if we can adapt it, do some modifications, or we're gonna have to go ahead and get a new one. $278 is a lot of money for something that I wanted a $500 budget, so we're gonna do what we can to avoid that. Now another thing I'm using this parts diagram for is trying to figure out how this hood works. Now you click on like 4 and 5 here, hood for, we want 176 right here. It shows an exploded diagram of what it looks like right here. And from what I best can figure out, that this bolt will screw into a threaded piece inside this plastic hood right here. So I don't have that on my hood, so I'm gonna have to create something like that, figure out something. But this bumper has a bolt that goes through here and then threads into this piece here. I had to figure that out using this parts diagram as well as going on the interweb like I just showed you. So don't overlook the manufacturer's website for looking for stuff as well as looking for buying parts. You know, everybody wants to go to Amazon or wants to go to eBay looking for parts, but sometimes you can just buy it from your local dealer.
All right, now what we're gonna do is try to get this lawnmower deck off this lawnmower. So there's a pull pin down here. I'm gonna pull that off. And then there's an attachment down here. We're going to lift this up and should be able to move this lawnmower deck out. I'm going to go release the other side. All right. All right. Now we can pull this out. This allows us to loosen the belt off this deck here. Now we can pull this out. We got the mower deck off. Doesn't look too bad. The belts, you can see they're pretty cracked. Those are gonna need to be replaced, so I gotta get some of those on order. And while I'm there, this one doesn't look too bad, the main drive belt, but once I have it off, I'll have it taken care of. I'll get a new belt as well. All right, got the mower deck flipped over, and you can see these blades have seen better days. They've been chewing up something. I don't know, they've been running over fence posts or whatever. But we'll get some new blades on here. We'll get the power washer out, clean this all up. Maybe get some wire brush out, and get some paint on this thing. Alrighty, so what we're doing is looking under here. For those newer to the mechanic world, we're looking to see what's under here. So this was the drive gear for the drive pulley for the lawnmower blades. Now what this is the drive pulley for the drive pulley and belts for what's called the hydrostatic drive, which drives the transmission of this lawnmower. So which right here. So a pulley is driven by these belts right here, drives this gears back here. So what we'll want to do is check the oil on this gears, make sure this rear end has got enough oil in it, check these belts, make sure they are in good shape, or this one big belt, make sure it's in good shape, and if it's not, we'll want to replace that. And we look under here is actually the underneath of the steering right here. to see why it's a little sloppy, and you can just see just by me moving my finger up there, it's pretty sloppy. So whatever it's attached into or whatever's holding it is pretty sloppy. So other than that, it doesn't look bad up here. That quick disconnect worked really well. It connected right here, so a pin went in like so, went into this bar, and it was able to just pull it out and dropped away, and it hooked on the front, hooked onto this little piece right here. Pretty straightforward, nothing really complicated, pretty easy maintenance down here as well. So we're gonna check the oil in the back here. We're gonna see what we can do about checking the oil in the engine. All right, we're gonna do is change the oil on this lawnmower. I'm gonna drain it out of here. I just bought it, so what I typically do is replace the oil anytime I get a new object, new truck, vehicle, snowblower, whatever it is, I'm gonna change oil. So what we're gonna do is drop the oil, or just remove the oil and get it out of here. So here's luckily the drain, and we'll just drain it out. Drop it down the pan. I got the dipstick removed for vacuum. Woo-wee. All right, while that's draining, what we'll do is we're gonna look at the air filter as well here. Alrighty, pretty straightforward. Looks super clean, actually. Look at that, brand new clean. I don't even have to do anything to it. I'll take this foam gasket off of here and clean that up, but the paper filter it's on there was super clean. That's great news. That tells me whoever maintained and owned this vehicle, this lawnmower, took really good maintenance care of it. That's huge news, and you can't buy that sometimes. Perfect news. All good. All right, what we're gonna do is try to take off this oil filter using this little cinch strap wrench. Alrighty, I got this sucker cinched up here tight. Whew. This oil filter is on way too tight. It should not be this tight. You can see I'm crushing the filter to get it off. There we go. Now we can get it off. It was way too tight. Unfortunately, there's really no good way to get this sucker off. Kind of opens up here. Get the wires out of the way. We'll just drain it down in there. There's a little drain hole there. A little drain hole down in there, and there's a little drain hole there. So I gotta go out to dinner with Mrs. Honey Badger, so we're gonna let that drain for the night. What we got left to do is we're gonna take this front bumper off later. I'll probably do that off screen. Just a few bolts there, take that off, and we'll figure out how that attaches to the hood. Regarding the hood, saw me taking off all the duct tape. We got a pretty major cutout or breakout here. So what I'm gonna do, try to make a build up here and then do a fiberglass overlay on top of that, try to fix that up. And then what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bolt or rivet on some aluminum there to hold that on to the front hood. So we'll see how that goes in cost savings measures. We'll get some paint out here and I'll clean this up. I'll get some John Deere yellow, I'll clean that up, paint that up, do some little bit of chipping there, clean up where we can. Do the best we can for it. There's a belt up here. And that belt, as I said earlier, needs to be replaced. So we'll clean that up. Maybe do a little bit of painting there to clean that stuff up. Over the mower, we drain the oil. I'll just have to pick some oil for that. And then later on, I'm gonna dig into this and see what's going on with the steering. We'll get a seat on order, get a new switch to replace here. And that's the switch that turns on the lawnmower. And then we'll also get a new throttle switch here. Kind of worn out. Try to get a new sticker or whatever goes in there. Just to freshen it up. It doesn't need a lot, but we'll kind of get it up, get it ready for the season. We're gonna call it a day. got a lot done. I'm super happy with it. I got a lot shopping list I gotta get going for parts. We'll get that going and get that stuff ordered up. And I'll figure out what's going on with the steering off camera, kind of figure out what's going on with that, maybe figure out what parts I needed to go to order, and we'll cover that on the next video. Alrighty, if you like what you see, hit the like button. If you're really liking what you see and you want us to follow along more, please hit that subscribe button. If you like what you see, please share it with other people. I like to grow this channel to put out better content for you guys, so please share that with other people. Ask them to subscribe as well. Hit that notification button so you know when things are coming out next. Also, you'll see on the Instagram channel when things are coming out as well. All right, thanks for watching. Keep brunching. Stay safe. Talk to you later.